non-stealing is a very simple term. The moment we hear it, what we understand is physically do not take things from other people and other places. What is not yours, do not take it. Right? And that is exactly what it is. But from a spiritual angle, there is much more to it. Because we are not just physicality. We also operate in our mind. And we also use words. So stealing can happen in both these places also. And if you are trying to grow spiritually, then it is very important for us to take care of these subtle aspects also. But it is more important for us to take care of this subtle aspect. So, when we talk about physical stealing, we also need to figure out why we feel like that. So the simple reason being that we feel a lack. Somewhere we feel that we do not have what we want to have, what we should be having. Maybe we have a less self-esteem. So because of these things, we feel that there is something in us which is not complete. We get this incompleteness, incomplete feeling. So what do? We try to acquire things which would probably fill that the apparent void in our mind. So when we get something, it gives certain pleasure. And that pleasure makes us think we are there, we got it filled and we feel happy. But this incompleteness that we feel is in our mind, is within, it is not outside. And what are we doing? We are taking or going after things outside of us, without, and trying to possess it. And through that, fill what we feel as lacking within. Which is okay, temporarily, but the issue is the material thing or the outside thing are not permanent. They are very temporary things. So what would happen is after some time, that will wear out, or that will get destroyed, or that won't be there with you anymore. So then what happens to the thing that came with it? What made you feel happy, complete? That also would go. So you're back to square one, where you are still looking for something which will fill that void. So basically, this route is not going to give you a complete feeling for a period of time. So stealing happens for feeling complete within. And let us also look at the philosophy, where in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you came here with nothing in your hand. When you go back, again, you'll go back with nothing in your hand. So you came without anything, you're going back without anything. So in between, why do you want to possess anything? Which actually we should think. Let me give you an example. Suppose I'm coming to your home. We are friends, and I'm coming to your home. And I come empty-handed. I'm going to be with you for a few hours or maybe for the day, and then in the evening I'll go back. And you treat me as family. Shower all the love and affection on me and give me everything. And I came empty-handed. And I know by evening I'll go out empty-handed. I came to visit and I'm going back. Now, when I go back, can I take things from there and go? Can I take things from things that are lying in your home and say that I want this and go? I can't go. I can't do that. Because it is your thing, not my thing. So, okay, so I can't take anything. Does that mean when I sit there, you're offering me tea? Now, should I say that I will not have tea because it is not mine? No, I will say I want tea. You are giving me tea, I want to enjoy. Because for this 6-10 hours that I'm going to be there with you, that is my home. and you are treating me as family, and I'm there. So you give me tea, I'll take it. You give me food, I'll take it. I'll enjoy it. I'll relish it. And you offer me, you say that let us play a game, an indoor game. I said, chalo, let us play the game. So we'll play the game. And then you will say, let us watch a movie on TV. So we'll sit and watch a movie on the TV. We'll enjoy it. We'll emote with the movie. If you have to cry, we'll cry. If you have to laugh, we'll laugh. It's wrong, nothing wrong. And maybe there will be certain areas where we'll disagree during that period of conversation. And then maybe there is an altercation. Then I'll fight with you. And you'll fight with me. And we may not be talking to each other for a few hours. And then before I go, we'll make up. We'll become friends again. So I'm not saying I'm not going to do any of this. These are things that are happening. And I'm going to be fully involved in. But after taking part of your hospitality, when I am going out of your home, can I say, I want this mobile phone, I want this TV, I want this furniture? I cannot say that. If it is not mine, can I get emotionally attached to any of those things sitting there? Should I do that? I can't do that. I shouldn't be doing it. Why? Because I knew I am coming here to be with you. And I am going back after some time. So but I'm enjoying whatever you're offering me and enjoying my life there. So why can't we have the same attitude when in our life? This exactly like that. If you try a broad picture, you come empty-handed, you go empty. In between there is life. Does that mean you are not supposed to? You are supposed to be like an ascetic, walking around naked, no home, nothing. No. Like you will not refuse tea in your friend's home. Whatever life offers, we'll take it. We'll enjoy it. We'll be part of it. But then, like, you should not get emotionally attached to anybody or anything at the home where you visited for a few hours, which won't be correct, which is not expected of you. In this world also, we need not have to be attached to it. Enjoy life, but with detachment, knowing that this is not going to, I'm not going to take it away with me. So if you understand this, what is the point in trying to possess something or somebody? It's not going to help us. It will only lead us to more attachment and get into a more vicious cycle of coming back again and again and again, which is not what you and me are here for. We are here to celebrate our freedom from this thing by understanding this thing. So this is the basic truth of spiritual journey is all about. So we spoke about the physical stealing, why we would do it and what it implies. But on a subtler plane also, we do stealing. For example, I am sitting watching TV and my wife is meditating. I know she's meditating. It's her me time. And I want tea now. I can get up and go and make it. But I want her to make it. Knowing well she's meditating, she's in her space, in her time. So if I insist, she will get up and make tea for me. But I'm stealing her time, which is not right. Every person who comes into our life has certain thing going on in their life. The way things are going on for us. Exactly the same way. We cannot make one person better or lower. They all have their life to lead. Okay, I'll give you another example. I am sitting in meditation. And then my wife, she loves cooking. So she's cooking in the kitchen. And so she's singing, cutting vegetables, she's enjoying. She's very passionate about it. While she was doing, a few steel plates fall down and it makes a noise. So now I am disturbed because I'm irritated. Why would she disturb me like? I get angry and I shout at her. What am I doing? I'm stealing her space now. It's her space, the kitchen, and the thing that she was doing is her internal space, where she loves whatever she's doing. So now we are stealing other people's time unknowingly. We may not have thought like this. And we are stealing other people's space. If you really want to grow spiritually, then the enlightened ones tell us, do not steal. It's not about picking somebody's money or a pen. This is the one that is more important. How deeply we get involved in stealing without even thinking about it. Now, this is about stealing from other people in an intangible way. We might be stealing from ourselves also. No, I am capable of doing certain things. Each of you are good at in certain area. But then sometimes if we do not accept it, we are stealing from us. Until and unless you start empowering you, moment to moment you are stealing from you. For example, you are going to a mall to buy something. You have a list of 10 things. But you know how things happen when you go to a grocery shop or a mall. When you come back, you have 20 extra things. You somehow pick things from them. 10 became 12 things. Why did we buy those extra 2 things? Impulse. Mostly on impulse. You saw and we bought. Sometimes, so we go there with an intention of buying one thing of 2 different things, 1 each. We come back with 2 each. We bought extra. We are hoarding, thinking that in future we don't know what will happen. So in both these cases, we are depriving us. What makes you think that what is provided to you today is not available to you tomorrow? It is available there tomorrow also. But you may not be believing it. That is how the universe runs. How much do you trust the goodness of the universe in taking care of you? If you start trusting, things will improve. Every time we buy extra things or we do things to protect us, that protection comes from a space where we think we don't know how things will be like. So how do we take care of all this? By completely believing that when I came down, I have what I need to have. Everything that I need to have, I'm already there. I'm abundant within. There is a lot of abundance within. I'm complete within. I'm not lacking in anything. If you start believing that you're lacking in something, then you're stealing from it. Think about it. Idly sit, meditate over it. The second thing is that you need to believe that universe will provide me whatever I need, whenever I need, at the exact time. And it has happened in your life. When you look back at your life, you would figure out that this has been going on. Now, if you start comparing certain things that happened as bad and good, then you won't understand this. But in life, whatever happens, good or bad, as per your definition, ultimately leads to your own internal elevation. Spiritually, we are all evolving. That elevation comes through good things and through not so good things. When we go through that, it is tough for us. But that is how it is. So this is what asteya is about. This is what non-stealing about. This is one and the most important thing that we need to follow moment to moment. And yesterday we spoke about non-violence, and yesterday we spoke about truthfulness. The yamas, yama 1, yama 2, and today we spoke about yama 3. But remember, the first one is non-violence, ahimsa. So everything, every yama, everything that we are speaking about, ahimsa has to be percolating within. So when I shout at my wife making noise there, I'm doing ahimsa. I'm in violence now. It's a subtler violence. It is not physical. When I'm buying extra things, I'm doing violence on myself. How beautiful. Look at it. Spiritual journey is about the inner journey. So all these small things affect our journey. That's why yamas are really beautiful. You need to sit and study. These are truths which help us move with sure steps forward. We can go and meditate for long period of time, but unless we take care of these small things, if you're stealing and meditating for 2 hours, well, meditation will help you. But then if you stop stealing, it will help you. It will further your progress. Let us meditate. And how we meditate? We meditate on the light of the soul, the light that is within us, the light that is at the center of our heart. Pure light, pure golden in color. Wherever you are, clasp your hands, cross your feet. Close your eyes. Relax your body. Completely relax your body. Fix your gaze on your third eye. Quietly sit there with eyes fixed on your third eye. As the gaze gets fixed, look inside your heart. Look at the center of your heart. At the center of your heart, as you look, you see this small speck of light, golden in color, bright and intense. Can see it clearly. Speck of light, size of a pinhead. Keep gazing. Bring your attention, awareness to this light. And as you keep seeing that light, you start seeing a slight movement there of the speck of light slowly increasing in size. is slowly, slowly becoming more and more bright, intense and bright. It's amazing to see that light increasing in size, becoming bigger and bigger. And as it does, it illuminates the inside of your heart. It's becoming bigger and bigger, expanding in concentric circles. That light is occupying the space of your heart. The light is expanding in all directions, forward, backward, left, right, upward, downward. Your heart is a ball of light, golden, intense, and bright. It is expanding downward into your stomach, abdominal cavity, touching and illuminating everything on its path. Like a wave, it is going down. Your stomach, your navel, into your hips. Every cell, tissue, fiber in your body slowly, slowly vibrating with this light. As the light goes down into your thighs, into your knees, in your legs, in your calf muscles, in your ankle, into your feet and toes, your entire lower body. The inside of your body is lit by this light, your own light, and you can feel it, feel the vibration, feel the sensation of light, warmth or cool as you would feel. You can feel this light going upward into your shoulders, into your hands, elbow, arms, palms, fingers. It's a beautiful sensation as it moves up into your head, to your neck. Light illuminating your brain, everything inside of your head. Your eyes from inside, your nostrils, your ears, your mouth, the top of your head. As you feel it, you can see light coming out of your body through each and every pore of your skin. It is outside your body, enveloping your body now. Intense. Golden in color. That light is moving towards every part of your room where you're sitting now. Your whole room is filled with this light. The pressure of the light builds up and start moving into other parts of your home, moving into every room, every space available in your home, touching people, your near and dear ones. As the light moves like waves, they feel happy being touched by your light, love and wisdom. Your whole house is full of this light now, and it is expanding rapidly out of your home through all sides. And it is moving into all the neighboring homes, moving up and down your apartment building, instantaneously making those buildings golden light, intense and bright. Imagine, visualize, let your imagination run wild. Allow it to see. The light is spreading across your neighborhood. See it in a map. On the map, you can see the light spreading to other parts of your city, touching all those places that you generally go. It's expanding rapidly now, filling your city, going around and across your entire state. State to other states, filling your country. Golden light, soft but intense, bright, bright golden light. Your whole country is full of this light now, and it is spreading across oceans and mountains. Enveloping our planet. And you can see that down below, your planet getting enveloped by this golden light. It's beautiful to see and know your light touching people and places and all living beings. Stay there, enjoy that spectacle. As you see that, you feel your presence wherever you are sitting. You can feel this flux of energy in your body, in your being. You enjoy that space. You can't see your body. You can only see the bright golden light. And the intensity of that light is melting unwanted lower emotions and energies that are within you. They're all getting melted and moving away from you. Melting your ego, melting your rigidity, making you flexible. Making you open to higher truth, higher knowledge, higher wisdom. Your body turning into a crystalline, intensely emitting and reflecting golden light. Your own light, the light of the soul, light of you, the soul. Be there, enjoy this space. Stay in that knowingness of light around you, within you. Be there. You the light. You are the light. Last minute, one more minute. Enjoy the light. Enjoy the movement. The expansion of light in you, around you. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. Be there. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Take your time. Be there. If you feel like being there, stay there. Otherwise, take your time. Whenever you're ready, slowly unclasp your hands. Keep it on your eyes for 5 seconds. Take your time to bring your consciousness back here.